Last month, there was a violent confrontation between pro and anti-immigration demonstrators outside a UK hotel where asylum seekers were being housed. But a couple of interesting things have come to light about this confrontation. Originally, it was only anti-immigration protesters camped outside the hotel. We've now learned that police gave pro-immigration protesters an escort to get to the hotel so they could wage a counter-protest, and that's when the violence broke out. Take a look.
Look at them, all their balaclavas on. Mate.
You can see there police giving an escort to people who've got masks on. But there's more. It's now been revealed that the group is funded by trade unions and headed up by Diane Abbott, Labor's former Home Secretary. Joining me now is GB News host Patrick Christys. Patrick, this is quite an unbelievable story. Just talk me through how this happened and the reaction from the public upon learning all of this information.
Yeah, well, recently in Britain, we have had some figures published that show that 1 in every 100 people in an illegal migrant hotel is either wanted for or is charged with an alleged offence. Then what's happened is that recently at that particular hotel that you were seeing there are some very serious allegations about some of the behaviour of some of the people, the migrants in those hotels. So concerned residents and the fathers and mothers of young children gathered outside that hotel, and they were chanting things like "protect our kids," and they said they didn't want that hotel in their area anymore, which I think in the round is probably fair enough. And then these protesters that you just showed there, Stand Up to Racism / Antifa / the Socialist Workers' Party of Britain, whoever these people really are, difficult to tell because a lot of them are masked up, arrived at the local train station and were escorted from that train station by police. They then started shouting things like Nazi scum and all of this at this group of local residents who were protesting. That infuriated a lot of people, and it's fair to say there was a bit of back and forth. But the reality here is, why are the police force escorting people to a very volatile situation, knowing that it's going to kick off, and then expecting, I think, concerned locals to just not react to that?
It's just astonishing, absolutely astonishing. Speaking of astonishing, I want to talk about what happened when you confronted a group of alleged people smugglers. You've received threats from a people smuggler working out of northern France after confronting these guys. We'll show you a little bit of what happened.
Why are you illegally bringing people into Britain? Why? Do you make a lot of money out of it? Hello. So we're going to send your face and your phone number and all of your details to French police. So it's game over, I'm afraid, for you, Rama. When people die in the Channel, do you feel any kind of conscience about that at all? Do you feel bad about that at all?
Okay, so we're watching there, you're confronting these alleged human traffickers. What happens after that?
Yeah, well, after that, I got a phone call from their handler, who I've been communicating with, who set up that interaction. I can't repeat what was said here, but there were a lot of F words doing the rounds, and he was certainly not happy about it. He said that he had my face and was making serious threats against me. These are prolific people that have been posting things like Islamic State propaganda on their social media platforms, and also posing with guns and weapons, and they are bringing people across the Channel. So that's why I went to confront them, and we hear a huge amount of talk from our Prime Minister about smashing the gangs and stopping the boats. Well, it's not happening, and I wanted to show how easy it was if you had the will to actually go and meet up with some of these human traffickers. We managed to meet up with 3 of these people within a day of arriving in northern France, just to show that, that really how easy it is if you have the political will to do it.
Speaking of asylum seekers, it's been revealed more than 6,000 asylum seekers in the UK have used prepaid cards given to them by the government, which are meant for food, clothing, but they've used them instead to bet on races and at casinos. Now, their efforts were apparently blocked each time, but this is British taxpayer money that they're trying to gamble with.
Yeah, they're trying to gamble with it. And it's also, if they're not spending it on that, we've got anecdotal evidence of them spending it on things like booze and cigarettes. And the implication there for me is that they're making money elsewhere. If that's the only £50 that you have to your name every single week, you're not going to try and put it all on the 320 at Newmarket, are you? You're going to spend it on food. But we know that a lot of them are working here illegally. And again, it just makes a mockery, really, doesn't it? This is British taxpayers' money. A lot of people in Britain at the moment, rightly so, are feeling quite skint. And yet we have money to not just accommodate and feed and clothe and house all of these people, but to also give them a little bit of money so they can have a flutter as well. It doesn't sit well with the average British person. The whole system really is completely broken. We've just encapsulated it very nicely there, I think, with those three stories that I imagine a lot of people in Australia are looking at right now and thinking, what the hell is going on in Britain? Well, I'll just say, so am I.
Watching those videos, I remember some years ago, I was actually at the jungle of Calais, which I believe is the asylum seeker camp that you were depicted in. And I was with a psychologist who'd been to many refugee camps all around the world, predominantly in Africa and the Middle East. And I said to him, how does this compare with other refugee camps you've been to? And he said, James, the difference with these guys is instead of running from something, they're running to something. And many of them talked to us about the social security, the welfare benefits that were available in the UK. It was very apparent, and who blames you for wanting a better life, but it was a very different kind of asylum seeker that probably we're typically used to. Just one more topic before we go, Patrick. A bit of a change of pace. The Times newspaper is reporting that traditional skills of sewing and knitting, I knew you'd be the perfect person to ask about this, traditional skills of sewing and knitting are dying out in the UK. A survey found needlework is perhaps unsurprisingly not as popular as it used to be, but only 27% of Brits can operate a sewing machine and only 16% are proficient knitters. Is this a problem or is this just progress, Patrick?
Well, realistically, well, I suppose it's both. It's testament to how we've managed to outsource everything to other countries, I think, isn't it? But there is a wider problem here, which is it's also just practical trades in general. So things like bricklaying and things like all of that stuff. And we are managing to outsource it. And unfortunately, I think the only needlework that you really see in Britain now has got more to do with some of the catastrophic drug problems that we have than any kind of practical trade at all. So maybe we need to teach younger children in schools that you don't have to go and get a Mickey Mouse pointless degree in underwater basket weaving from some university and come out with a lifetime of debt. You can learn how to operate a sewing machine and you can walk straight into a job and maybe start paying a bit of tax as well.
Or just do your study in Australia. You don't have a lifetime of debt. The government just wipe it off and get other people to pay for it. It's brilliant. Patrick, thanks for joining me tonight. It's always a joy.